My story has so many facets to it. There's so many ups and downs and highs and lows, but the piece that I want to share with you today has to do with taking the life of my unborn child. As I grew up, I experienced so much rejection and just heartache and pain and all of these different things. So the abuse started for me at a really young age. When I was 3 years old, I was molested by a female babysitter. My parents were divorced in my childhood, and also I was molested by my stepdad when I was in 5th grade. So it was very much, looking back in hindsight, it was like I had a target on my back. And I actually believe that I did when I really think about it. A target that wanted to really destroy me, wanted to debilitate me, and wanted to keep me from really walking in my purpose and knowing and receiving the love of Christ. So if you fast forward to, after I had my second child with my now husband, Anthony, who has been absolutely amazing, there was a period in time where we separated. And my daughter was about 9 months old, and I started a relationship with another man. I found out I was pregnant. This man that I was with was about 15 years older than me, and he already had grandchildren, at least one grandchild at that time. And at first, when I told him I was pregnant, he seemed pretty happy about it, and we talked about it, and we even talked about, well, what if it was a girl? What would we name her? And we actually picked out a name for her, and her name would have been Clarity. And then it was like the switch flipped, and he no longer wanted to be a dad because, again, he had a grandchild and all of those things. And I immediately was just so unsure, and I always said that I could never have an abortion. That's something that I would never do. But I found myself in a place of fear. I was scared of being rejected like I had felt growing up. I was afraid of what people would say about me. I remember saying that, what am I going to do with 2 different baby daddies? Like, that's what I said. I'm like, who's going to want to be with me? And I was still so young. All of these things were just kind of like racing in my head, and I knew that I had a decision to make. And even though in the deepest part of me, I did not want to have an abortion, I felt like it was my only choice. So I remember looking it up and having to, fill out the waiver 24 hours in advance and all of those things. And I remember that morning waking up so early, and my appointment, I think, was before 8 o'clock. So we went into the doctor's office, and I remember sitting down in the waiting room, and I remember seeing other girls there with me. And I remember looking at them, and I thought to myself, what are they in for? I knew that they were having abortions, but I wondered what their stories were and how they got to this place that I was also at. I remember them calling me back and sitting me on the table. It was such a cold place, and I felt so alone. And I remember them doing an ultrasound, and I could see the ultrasound machine, and I just knew, that my baby was on the screen. But I was at the point of no return. I was already there. It was paid for. I gave my verbal word. I signed the waiver. There was nobody there to rescue me from that situation. And I just remember the doctor talking, and then me laying back and putting my feet up in the stirrup. And then he just let me know that he was going to start. And I heard the noise sounded like a really loud vacuum cleaner. What I know now is that that's exactly what they were doing to my baby. They were sucking my baby, sucking the life out of me. But that day, they didn't just suck the physical life out of me. They sucked so much more. And I just remember laying there, just bawling, just crying. I wish that I had enough strength to get off of that table. I wish that I did. Abortion is not a quick fix. Getting rid of your child doesn't change the fact that you are now a mother. The only thing that changes is that you no longer have a child that's here on this earth. No matter what anybody tells you, it is not going to make your life better. I remember when the abortion was finished, I was a little out of it, but I just remember I was hysterically crying, like from the deepest parts of me. And they put me in a room and they gave me juice and cookies, like that was gonna make it better. And they were trying to console me, and finally they just left me, monitored me, I assume. And it's so hard to remember the rest, but what I do know is that I left the clinic. Not a word was said on the way to dropping me off. I walked in my house like a zombie, and I went back to bed. And when I woke up, I wasn't the same. Leading up to the point where I received breakthrough and an understanding of who God was in my life and for me and what He did for me, I was in a battle, much like the battle that I had been facing my whole life. And I came to this place of just torment, mentally being tormented in a dark, dark place. And He had placed people around me that were truth and that were light. And when I got to that breaking point, I was able to reach out. And they led me to Him. And from that, I walked into this church and I felt peace like I'd never felt in my life. And it overtook me. He took me out of the pit. And all I wanted was Him. All I wanted was to be free from all of the past, all of the pain. And I wanted to never not feel His peace again. So I ran with it. And He did a drastic work in my life. So much was lifted off of me when I just surrendered it to Him. And I'm so thankful for that. I have been on a journey for 11 years with the Lord. And His redemption power, His grace, His mercy, His love that He gives us, and the opportunity that He gives us to come to Him is priceless. It's nothing that we could ever do to earn. Nothing we could ever do. Like, there's no striving in Him. All there is surrender and obedience and just receiving with open arms with open hands what he has for us, for each and every one of us. I'm so thankful for the life I have. Is it easy? No. Do I struggle? Yes. Do I battle all the time? But is he with me? Absolutely. So my heart, my purpose, my passion, and what I live by is rescued people rescue people. There's no way that I could experience how God rescued me out of the pit and not want to reach back and grab others and bring as many people as I possibly could with me. I wish that I could spend a whole day pouring into each and every one of you. But the truth of the matter is that I don't need to. And the reason why is because I can point you straight to him right now. What Jesus did on the cross for us, dying for every sin, every ounce of shame, condemnation, the worst of the worst things. Nothing shocks him. You may think that you are far beyond reach, that if you walk into a church, the place will light on fire because you have so much junk in your past. But I just want you to know that that is so far from the truth. If you are struggling right now with the decision of abortion, I just urge you to reach out to someone that you trust. I know that it feels heavy. I know that it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You may have more kids, you may have money issues, but I promise you that when you choose life for your child, that the Lord will bless that. He will provide. And there are people guaranteed that are around you, whether you know them or not yet, that are willing to help you, that are willing to walk with you. If your story is like mine and you're post-abortive, I just want to give you hope that you don't have to stay in that place of regret, that you don't have to allow those memories and the pain to torment you for the rest of your life. There is healing. I wasn't just a happenstance or just a favorite of God that he chose to heal me. Each of us, no matter what, can be healed if we allow him to come in and do the work in us. And I have so much joy and hope knowing that one day I will see my baby again. But for now, I am going to make the devil pay a toll for the life that I gave up.